Welcome to the Harkening Deer podcast, the only Christian meditation podcast that incorporates contemplative music with guided meditation. The Harkening Deer podcast is a Thirsty Deer studio production. I am your host, Sean J. Stevens. If the guided meditations of Harkening Deer is a ministry you would like to support, you can do so at patreon.com/harkeningdeer. For this meditation, I will be using the Hebrew name for Jesus, Yeshua. The name Yeshua in ancient Hebrew literally means God saves. Combining the name of God, which we translate into English as Yahweh or Jehovah, and the word Yasha, which means to save. If having the name Yeshua used as the name for the Christ is shocking or new for you, feel free to pause this episode and read the show notes or look into the history of the translation from Yeshua to Jesus on your own. When ready, feel free to come back to this episode of the podcast. Now, let's review my farms, or the facilitation of accommodating recommendations for meditation. Farm number 1. No judgment. There is no such thing as a failed meditation session. Any attempt at contemplation, no matter how short or distracted, is a positive experience. Often we can be so focused on being productive that we forget to make time and give ourselves space and grace to just be. Remember that everyone's mind will wander, especially at first. If you have a distracting thought, simply see it and let it go. Meditation is not about what we are or are not getting accomplished. Do not worry about whether you are doing it right. There is no wrong way to meditate. It is a time to be contemplative, affirmed, inspired, and refreshed. That, in and of itself, is productive. So no judgment. Farm number 2. Be still. In body, mind, and spirit. As much as you can, find a quiet space, free of distractions. I encourage you to close your eyes and quiet your mind. Get comfortable. As much as you can, find a position you can remain in for the duration of the meditation with as little movement as possible. Be still. Farm number 3. Posture yourself toward peace and loving kindness. Let go of any negative thought or emotion toward yourself or another. If any negative thoughts or feelings pop into your head or heart while we are meditating, simply see them and let them go. I encourage you to embrace a heart and mindset of peace and loving kindness. This meditation will last for about 2 minutes. Romans 8, verses 1 and 2. There is therefore no condemnation to those in Yeshua the Messiah. For the law of the Spirit and of life, which is in Yeshua the Messiah, has freed you from the law of sin and death. Let us meditate on what it means to be freed from the law of sin and death. Often we have a tendency to reduce ourselves down to our failures or define ourselves by our shortcomings. This passage reminds us to embrace the law of the Spirit of life and urges us to let go of the shame and all negative self-talk. You are not your failures. You are not your shortcomings. You are not your shame. Let them go. There is no condemnation in Yeshua, the Messiah.